for the first time in 8 years. His century in the penultimate frame demonstrated the class that saw him through qualifying. He will be desperate to give it absolutely everything. So come on, Sheffield, raise the roof for Robbie Williams. And his opponent, a player arguably in the best form of his life. Winner of 3 major crowns already this season. Now just 3 frames away from a 13th appearance in the last 16. Reigning champion of champions, reigning players champion, and the pride of Northern Ireland. Here comes Mark the Pistol Allen.
Welcome to Discovery Plus.
The 16th frame. Mark Allen to break.
So, will Robbie stay in the same attacking mode? Try and pop this red.
Mark Allen has lost in the first round of the Crucible 5 times. The first of those defeats was in 2008. He was 9-7 up, lost 10-9. Mind you, that was to Stephen Hendry. Also beaten in the first round by the likes of Cao Yupeng, Mark King, Zhou Yulong, and most recently in 2020 by Jamie Clark. Never thought I'd be reading off the list of his first round defeats this afternoon. It seemed a formality that he was going to win, and with ease. Bold safety. 2 reds close to the top right-hand corner pocket, but both have been covered by the yellow.
A mistake, and it could be a bad one. Come on, now.
1.
That was so unfortunate. Just on the
Please make sure
backswing,
those devices are switched off or at least on silent.
a mobile phone went off. Up on the shot, thankfully it went in. Our Master of Ceremonies, Rob Walker, before every session, pleads with the crowd, please turn your phones off. And yet, every session, 1 or 2, maybe more than that, go off.
You know, the first time that they asked somebody to leave because of that, I don't think there'll be many more going off after that.
Nine. Come on.
I think what happens, the crowd heed Rob Walker's advice and then turn the phones back on at the mid-session interval and sometimes forget that they need to be turned back off.
11.
Can Mark Allen put this to bed? We've been saying that for a while now.
Nineteen. Twenty.
Hasn't worked out. Unless there's a red to the left middle.
27.
And there very well could be. So the question is, can he get to the black or pink? That's more like it. It would help if he could reach this. Full stretch. Yeah, right in the middle.
And knowing Mark Allen, I think the mistakes he's made on the verge of victory haven't been the result of nerves, more the result of a lapse in concentration with a big lead. But the closer it gets, the more the tension will rise.
Yeah, he's on a red there to the corner, look, and he's on a red to the middle. But neither one of them are ideal to get to the colour. Looks to have a straight red to the bottom corner as well. But that was always a good red to play. The way he was nodding his head, I didn't think he could play that.
$43. 44.
with every ball potted, gets closer to reaching the last 16 at the Crucible for the 13th time.
52.
And indeed for the 4th year in succession.
Yes, and he'll have the belief that he can win it. And no reason why he shouldn't.
$59. $60.
So a red and a big colour.
62.
Should see him safe and into the next round. And he'll play the winner of John Higgins and Jamie Jones.
They start out tonight, and you can see that on Discovery Plus.
Well, it's been a good break, this.
70.
And that should make him feel a lot better, winning in one visit, going into the last 16.
71.
Only the second frame in the match he's won in a single visit. Made 80 to win frame 7 yesterday.
74.
It's been a valiant rearguard action from Robbie Williams, but he remains winless at the Crucible. But he will end the season with his best ever world ranking.
82. $83.
Mark Allen could end the season with the best ranking there is. Number 1. He will need to improve on this performance.
90.
But he would be the first to appreciate that.
91.
And at least when the chips were down, he's produced his best, his highest break of the match.
$98. 99.
And that's the way. That's the way to do it. I think Robbie Williams actually inspired him. The way that Robbie played in the last frame.
110. 114.
Allen's 54th century at the Crucible. 46th this season, and the contribution that's eventually taken him over the line. Today there are a few mistakes, but in the end, in the final analysis, Mark Allen got the job done, and that's what he's been doing these last couple of years. Mark Allen defeats Robbie Williams 10-6. You could say he made a meal of it, but he's finished in time for dinner.
The first match win on the Crucible stage in 10 years. 3 times he's made it to the quarters. 4 times a ranking event champion. 2 decades after his Sheffield debut, he's still loving the biggest arena of all. So give it up for Ryan Dynamite Day. And his opponent, what character he displayed from 5-2 down yesterday, bidding for a 12th appearance in the last 16, multiple semi-finalist, runner-up of course in 13. He is the reigning European Masters champion, the eagle-eyed Barry Hawkins. And now to a...
Getting very interesting.
So it's 9-8 to Ryan Day. He was 8-5 down and he was really struggling. The interval came along, something changed. Hawkins, yes, has missed a few, but Ryan Day has held firm. Played one of the shots of the tournament on the green in that last frame, and he needs one more to reach the last 16. Can Barry Hawkins, though, take us to what will be a 50-sider in this first round?
It's been a pretty open match, all things considered. But this is where you might end up getting a frame where balls just drift into awkward spots. But the brown has already gone on top of the green ball. Black's not really that accessible at this stage. No, he's going to maybe come on the attack himself here. Oh dear, that's not hit well. Looks like he's got away with it. Well, the plant's not unnatural, not from there. You're going to have to cut the first thread thinner than what would be the potting angle. And this is so dangerous, it's untrue. Ball's going everywhere. Well, he potted at least two. That's as many as I saw going in.
Yeah, two went in. He's on the blue.
Two.
He's got a chance.
Very brave shot, I guess. It's one of those shots, if nothing goes in and he leaves a chance, we're saying it's a foolish shot, but clearly not the case. He really fancied it. He believed that the plant was gettable. And he actually got the pink in play also.
7. Eight.
Well, look, it's a great chance. Whether he could go on and win the frame and match here, I don't know, because the balls aren't necessarily in his favour, but, you know, you get a break of 35 or something. Goodness, that would feel a lot. Balls strewn everywhere. I think he's on one. I think he's on one through the gap, but it's tricky. And he's hitting other reds. Not a favourable kiss on the red on the side cushion there.
$15.
Yes, it's not been the sort of match that, you know, suggests it's going to be as simple as just getting in and winning a frame.
No, but he's got something
Ping
nasty up his sleeve here to try and hit that cannon on the green. That would be pretty unpalatable if you're Barry Hawkins.
Friday,
Not done
15.
it. But crucially has got cover on that red. So, one good shot here, and it's a much better chance than the previous. If you could pop this and get on a high-value colour, this red, this match may not go all the way to a decider, which, despite it having that feel about it, composing himself for what is a big shot.
Yeah, just slightly hampered. But he's played it really well.
Oh, it's an absolute peach. That is just the best thing you could see as result-wise if you're Ryan Day or a fan of his. Lovely nudge on the red. Again, no one's saying he's going to clear the whole table, but he really can put some distance between himself and Barry Hawkins in this frame now.
Eight.
I think he clearly would have liked to have been straighter on this. And he has to avoid the two reds below the black and coming through onto the black, seemingly into the same pocket as the red he's knocking in. Smattering of applause. Don't know if he's got the perfect angle here. If it's straight, he's definitely got the power to just zip the cue ball back on the two reds. Yeah, the angle's there. He's so much better when he really attacks the cue ball, isn't he?
16.
Gets through it. When he kind of half hits the
17.
shot, that's when I think problems creep into his game. He needs to remain aggressive at all times, I think, Ryan Day. Well, he was lucky there, because he did not play that. He played on the 4 reds in the bunch to hit those.
24.
Yes, must stay positive. Still on the red. Plunges it in.
Yes, and another shot at these 4 reds and bringing them into play. And you can feel the tension, and you feel the way he's getting really pumped, as he has been in the last few frames. Well, that's very good. That's very good. No applause, but it'll come to
32.
people notice that he's on this red beautifully. Pink there. Just the tension of the
33.
situation could stop him now, because he's well on his way.
Well, he was looking really good yesterday, 5-2. Seemed over-anxious to
39.
get further in front, ended up 5-4. Made no impact at all on the first 4 frames tonight. The interval came along at the right time, and since then he's looked very aggressive, up for
40.
it. He's played with authority. OK, a few things have gone wrong, but he stood tall, and Ryan Day is close to winning his first match here in a decade. He needs another red after the pink. Checking the scores. Big moment for him. He's missed a few
46.
crucibles along the way. He's had some disappointments. He only just qualified in a decider against Scott Donaldson a week ago. But that should be
47.
the winning ball. And credit to him, he's really gone for it from 8-5 down.
Indeed, well, he lost a chunk of 6 frames in a row, didn't he? And it must have been very disheartening. But definitely, after that mid-session, he came out and played more aggressively, and he's not only taken that to the point where he got level, he's maintained it. He's got all the cue power, all the shots. And he seems to have got a bit of belief about him tonight. 2 of the good guys in the game. You feel for Barry
53.
Hawkins, but you can't help but being pleased for Ryan Day as well.
This red, and it should be over. And there it is. No playing on from here, and he knows it. That's why you see the clenched fist. He hasn't won a match since 2014 at the Crucible. You can understand the delight. And the supporters are just as delighted for him.
61.
And it looks very much like Ronnie O'Sullivan in the next round. Of course, he's 8-1 up overnight against Jackson Page. So that's going to be a massive occasion for Ryan Dynamite Day,
Ryan Day, 61.
who's made an explosive comeback. He'd lost 6 on the spin. He was 8-5 down at the interval. Something needed to change, and it did dramatically. Another seed is out. Another one gone. Barry Hawkins beaten by Ryan Day by 10 frames to 8.
And now to a player who produced a brilliant performance in qualifying to secure a second Crucible appearance. His break of 1-4-2 yesterday gave us a glimpse of the quality that took him to the World Open semis last month. He will give it absolutely everything this afternoon. So come on, raise the roof, Sheffield, for action, Jackson Page. Finally, to the greatest player in history, 2 frames away from a record-extending 28th appearance in the last 16. Winner of 5 major crowns already this season. 7 times a champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Just a reminder, on Discovery Plus, you can watch Dave Gilbert and Robert Milk. Ronnie O'Sullivan to brink.
So it's day 6 at the Crucible, and Ronnie O'Sullivan on the brink of a place in round 2 of this Kazoo World Championship. 9-1. He's won the first of the afternoon with a break of 79. O'Sullivan beat Tepchara Nu here in 2020, 10-1. That was, in terms of time, the quickest ever match. This won't be as fast, but it's comprehensive so far. Yeah, it lasted just 108 minutes, actually. Average frame time of just under 10 minutes. Because Tepchara's no slouch in that department either.
Good enough safety shot that. He's just blocked off the left side of the table for any thin safety shots. But as ever, the hard thing, I think, with beating Ronnie O'Sullivan is there isn't really a weakness in there, is there? Let's be honest, he can play all the safety shots. You know, his long game is invariably pretty good, and when it is, everything else works. Break building is the greatest ever. You know, it's all there. Tactically, he can scrap it out if he needs to. So what do? I guess you have to play the snooker of your life, especially in a long match, and that's kind of how Luca Bracel did for him last year. 10-6 down and just blasted him off the table, but it's easy to say and not so easy to do. It's not happening here, but you know, someone is going to have to stop him from picking up his 8th title. Plenty are capable of doing it, but actually going ahead and doing it so is not quite so easy.
No, it's a formidable challenge, whoever you are, whatever you've won. And many have done it here, of course, but assuming this match is kind of done, there's only going to be 4 players who can do it, because there's only 4 rounds left to play. Ryan Dale with the next one.
That's a good cue ball, isn't it? Of course, to add to that, and I mentioned this yesterday, is Ronnie's been beaten a few times this season in amongst all those wins in huge events, but all of the players that have beaten them were here at the beginning of the week, and they've all been knocked out in the last few days, so there's not anyone who's done for him this season left in the draw.
Of course, if the match were to finish 10-1, the wall would go up, so the spectators will get to see lots of snooker, but I'm sure plenty of people would like this to go on a bit longer.
Well, he tried to, I think, sneak the cue ball in behind the green, but this is a test of cueing. This distance with the cue ball not quite on the bolt cushion, but pretty much close enough to make it not the easiest pot.
Yeah, he knew immediately that that wasn't going in. It has, though, run past the middle pocket at least.
Once again to get in behind the green ball here. A pretty fiendish snooker, if in it. Now, that's a slight error. There haven't been many. But positionally of the cue ball, that is, it didn't quite get it onto the cushion nor behind the green, and he's pushed the red near a pocket, albeit I don't think he can get to it without some sort of a plant. Playing cushion first, in fact. Well, that's handy. That is handy, isn't it? Who would begrudge him that? Don't know if the black spot is free, that you can see the spot, but I don't know if it's going to have to go on the highest available. I think, Scullion has got his eye on it, and he might have to be on the brown if this is not enough of it available. Well, unfortunately for Jackson Page, it does respot. Could be that it pots to the right corner from a specific area on the left side with the cue ball.
No.
Well, one thing's for sure, it's a strong end to the season, isn't it, for Jackson Page? He got to his first semi-final at the World Open in March, qualified for the second time here. Trying to open things up there. He's trying to just
14.
make something happen, and you can understand that. Doesn't expect to win, of course, but wants to go out on a high at least.
Foul. Jackson Page.
Well, that's
14,
an extraordinary
Ronnie
foul. I
O'Sullivan.
think he was just so eyes fixed on the cue ball that he let his cue just, I don't know, just hit the top of a red or something.
Not getting any better for him, is it? Of course, he's now been put in from there. You see it again.
A bit casual, wasn't it? Well, he couldn't make it up, really, could you, that kind of a foul? Your mind is somewhere else, thinking about that cue ball, where it was going to end up, and now he's got the problem of playing it from there himself. Well, what a shot. Yes, he had a little bit of safety in mind. He's actually got the cue ball so far back to the bolt cushion that now the pot's gone in. He probably wishes it was a little further out so he could get clear access to the green. I'm not sure if he can see enough of the green. Well, maybe. It's tight, isn't it? Yeah, no pot intended there. Just as well it didn't go in, that yellow. So, you know, he's playing absolutely hard as nails today. He's not eased up or anything.
Yeah, that's the bad news in a way for Jackson Page. He's been treated with the utmost respect here. Not, you know, the idea is 9-1, I'm going to win anyway. That's not come into it.
Foul, no miss.
I think the point is, look,
O'Sullivan.
there's nobody who believes that at 9-1 that O'Sullivan's not going to win this match sooner rather than later. But from his point of view, doesn't want to slip into any bad habits. Doesn't want to go out there with sort of a blasé attitude to this situation. As I say, I think treat it like a further little practice session before the next round. At the moment, all he wants to do is put Jackson Page in a world of trouble.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had that put back, of course, but he tried to get him behind the green again. Didn't quite manage it.
Yeah, Sullivan's got a strange attitude to the ball's being put back off, and he plays from where they land, even when a miss has been called, and you can never quite get to the bottom of why. There was an occasion there. I don't know why he didn't have him put back behind the yellow.
Foul.
It was threatening to happen for a couple of shots.
Page 4.
Well, that was a mistake. Although it may not go punished.
Well, a chance here, maybe one piece of good cueing could be in. Had a look to see if the black goes.
One.
Very fine cueing. I think if the black does go, it's a real opening, in fact. As you say, went to have a little check down there. That red was not so easy where he's cueing from. Well, it was very close to knocking the red over the middle, but that was not anything like what he played. He looks pretty disgusted with that last shot.
I think that's the interesting thing about this session. He's come out with the same sort of intensity. If we didn't have the score scrap on, you might not know it was 9-1.
Thank you. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Which, in a way, I think is a good thing. Keeping the same sort of level up, even though the match feels over.
Yeah, I just immediately think of a player like that from years ago, Steve Davis, one of the all-time greats. I mean, he would take great delight in sort of pummeling the opposition into the ground, and he would do it for maybe the next time that he should meet them, and so it lived in their memory for too long. He was completely ruthless. Yes, the game's changed, but his attitude was that he wanted to absolutely put them away as quickly and as efficiently as possible. I think the red above and to the right of the black might cut into the right corner. It is a thin one, but it is a red that could bring something to O'Sullivan. Yeah, that's the one. Nice pot. He hasn't finished with an angle that is very suitable on the green either. Can use power here.
Four. RonnieO'Sullivan, 4.
Said about O'Sullivan's intensity. It's the same with Jackson Page. He's not just throwing his cue at the balls, is he? He's playing the proper stuff. They're both being professional. It's just that the scoreline is massively one-sided. Just looking for a thin edge.
Foul, no miss. Jackson Page, 4.
Looks like Page is going to go on the attack here.
One.
We can certainly hit the balls hard and maintain accuracy. He absolutely thumped that red in. This is really difficult. Well, I think actually the pace there was what stopped it going in. Those middle pockets are pretty miserly from what we've seen. Plenty of players are missing into them.
Well, that could be the last throw of the dice, maybe. Still work to do here. He really does straddle eras, doesn't he, O'Sullivan? I mean, when he first played here, the likes of Terry Griffiths, Dennis Taylor, Cliff Thorburn, Alex Higgins, still playing at the Crucible. Steve Davis still a top player. Of course, it was the year of Hendry and Jimmy. And he's repelled a few challengers over the years as well. The younger players coming along. Still the man to beat. But this frame ended up very scrappy. I mean, even if it had potted that blue, there was work to do, wasn't there, where the balls are? So it's not quite the procession that it might have been this frame yet, but it's still going to be tough for both to win it in one visit.
One.
It's ever such a good shot, albeit he's just pushed the red beyond the middle. Yeah, that was also good, but it is a really difficult table, as you can see. So where are the points going to come from? Even if he went for that thin black, it wouldn't be landing him anywhere near a red.
Green ball. Jackson Page, 9.
Now that is a superb safety shot. That really is. There's not a lot of room to manoeuvre there.
Well, he's opened a few up here. So, again, a chance with a good piece of cueing.
One.
Because you mentioned, Dave, that O'Sullivan straddles ears. I'm sure he played Fred Davis once, didn't he? Which kind of is the ultimate, really, in one player linking a completely past era to here he is playing all the youngsters in the game, like Jackson Page. Hard to think that anyone would link players of that generation to the ones playing now, but he is the link.
Yes, Fred was in his late 70s. I think Ronnie was 16. Fred Davis played in the World Championship in the 1930s. I bet those guys just wouldn't believe the way snooker has developed. Joe Davis, actually, of course, Fred's brother, who won the first World Championship in 1927, he did come to the Crucible first couple of years and saw the start of this era.
13.
He gave that extra, and it was because he wanted to pop the red and try and move the other red out. I don't know if it's still on. And obviously that saucer that's appeared on the right of the screen would be where he would want to finish after his next colour. But I think initially he was thinking about moving that red on the cushion on this shot. I don't think he can do it where he finished up.
21.
And also landing in the area which is there, it's slightly hampered by the pink being there. I think he can just to the left of the pink play there. Nice touch.
28.
Well, it's not been a dash for the line in this frame, but the fact is, this black is essentially for victory, barring snookers. And in it goes. It just never looked like a session that could turn 8-1. Jackson Page, the one frame he's won was with a blistering 142 total clearance, but was just up against it. He was up against it from the off. Let's be honest, Ronnie O'Sullivan's season has been exemplary in terms of what he's won. And he's chasing down to add to an 8th UK Championship and an 8th Masters, an 8th World Championship. There's only 4 people now who can stop him because he's got 4 more matches to play.
Thank you.
Will Jackson Page play on here,
Right,
needing 2 snookers?
38.
He's going to. He looked switched on from yesterday. He was very businesslike. He's been the same today. He's played this as if it was 0-0 this session. Treated his opponent with every respect. It makes him dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long way off that O'Sullivan will become world champion again, but I mean, it would be quite the most extraordinary season should he do so, picking up all of the three, if you like, Triple Crown events, UK Masters, Worlds. He won again in Shanghai, of course, on the big Saudi event, World Grand Prix. I'm sure I've missed something else out there, but even then, it's just a lot of money that he's earned and a lot of prestige on top.
So, for the 28th time in his career, Ronnie O'Sullivan survives round one at the World Championship. He did more than survive. It was completely one-sided.
And one inner decider.
The 16th frame. John Higgins to break.
And for John Higgins, who has had one or two issues in more recent times getting over the line in matches, he'll be very keen to put this to bed very quickly.
I think at 9-6, John Higgins is psychologically comfortable enough still, but should Jamie Jones reduce the deficit to 2 frames at 9-7, it could be slightly more unnerving for John Higgins.
Could have done without that kiss, although it could have been worse. Yes, and given that Higgins has had issues of late with crossing the line in matches he's been in control of, then one or two of those scars might be reopened if Jones can keep the pressure up by winning this frame. That's what Jones will be hoping anyway. This is a tricky opening red for Higgins, but if he gets it, he could be in business. Right in the middle.
Yes, good pot from John Higgins, but there wasn't a great deal of pressure on it because he couldn't really have left Jamie Jones a potable red had it not gone in. But this is an excellent opportunity now for John Higgins. He'd love to somehow get that black ball into play. If one of the 2 reds next to the black will pot somewhere, then he will have the opportunity to bring it into play.
Seven. $12. $13.
Now, I must presume that the black is actually on its spot. Although I can see a little mark just to the right of the black. I wonder if that's the spot, but as long as the red that's next to this black will still pot, is okay. Well, I'm not sure whether the black spot is available. Is the pink spot available? If it isn't, I'm just wondering whether this red will still go. Rob Spencer will have to make sure that black is as close to that red as he can get it without touching it. Well, John still thinks that red's on.
$21.
Well, the pink spot must be occupied.
27.
Well, that's not such a bad result for John Higgins, because the black near this top cushion would have been a problem. But having the pink on the black spot does help somewhat. Nicely controlled. The stun run through has given John Higgins a good angle on this pink. This is the key shot coming up. If he can pop the pink and stun into the pack of reds and avoid that loose one at the back of the pack, he may very well be on that loose red as a guarantee. Needs to make sure, though, not to miss this pink.
No mistake on the pink this time. He has missed 2 this evening, about the only pots that he has missed, but the split could have been kinder. No easy red to go at.
Yeah, too much backspin there. Could have done with stunning into the reds rather than screwing into them. Attempting the double.
John Higgins.
But he had to make sure to cover that red near the green pocket, and I don't think he has.
Well, that was a let-off for Higgins, having left the red in attempting the double, which for once he didn't get.
Yeah, and I think John can make this plant, you know, into the centre pocket. He's guaranteed to be on the green, if not the blue. I think John will fancy this. It does need to be made, as you can see. But the cue ball's in a good position in terms of the angle that John has to try and produce this plant. Just beginning to lose a touch of composure, perhaps, John Higgins. The way he played that plant just seemed a little edgy to me. Nerve endings becoming a little frayed, perhaps.
Cheers, Jimmy. Thank you.
Higgins looking to create one further opening, which would give him the chance to kill this match off. Already 34 points in front. Had half a chance just now with the plant that he attempted, which didn't work out. Oh dear, that could be the beginning of the end for Jamie Jones.
Played this with a lot of right-hand side to swing the cue ball around the angles, but whenever you create, especially on these new cloths, a lot of side spin, it pushes the cue ball in the opposite direction, and it's a spin on the cue ball that enables you to spin the cue ball back to the side of the ball that you're trying to hit, and he's just misjudged it. But John has misjudged that.
Definitely one or two signs of tension inside of victory. So, a chance for Jones to get right back in this frame at the very least. And if he can win this one, the pressure will begin to mount on Higgins to finish the job.
Four.
Oh, cue ball just pulling up in time there. Thought for a moment he's going to be on nothing. Black, of course, out of commission, but there were plenty of loose reds and colours for Jamie to get right back into this frame and erase that deficit. But winning the frame from here certainly won't be easy.
Seven. Eight. $30. Cheers.
We've already lost 8 seeds, of course, at this year's World Championship, which ties the record. It's happened on 3 previous occasions: 1980, 1992 and 2012. So if Jamie Jones could create something extraordinary here from 9-5 behind, we'd be looking at a new record. Still a long way off that, but this is a chance to just give
17.
Higgins a few more concerns.
$23.
2 more easily available reds for Jamie Jones. The red that's to the right of the black, if he could somehow get that one out the way. Not now, he'd want to leave that to much later on in this break. But then the black could be potted, and that would bring into play the red just to the left of the black, which would also then be pottable.
30.
Jamie tried to cannon the black there.
30.
Bring further reds and the black into the open, but he missed the cannon. Just 3 points behind. He can still cut the brown in, but getting onto red from it won't be easy.
Jamie Jones, 31.
Back in the frame, just 3 points adrift now. Where's this red? Not great for Higgins. Another chance for Jones. Eager to get it over with.
Thank you.
He's a good rest player, Jamie Jones, and that was a good one. Just has enough angle to work with on the blue. Just wanted a little bit more left-hand side on the cue ball to bring him closer to this red. It's very missable, this.
Jamie Jones, 6.
The red eludes him, so the chance now falls to Higgins. On the face of it, Higgins in a comfortable position on the scoreboard, but you can feel the tension rising out there.
Well, John will want to play for the black from this red. That would make the remaining red behind the black spot much easier. But he hasn't played it well. Doesn't have the angle on the black to play for the last red. May have to consider the brown now. Now, I just wonder if John's thinking differently here, whether he'll just try and pot the black and snooker Jamie Jones on the remaining red. That does seem to be his course of action. So he'll stun the red around the angles.
8.
Just needs to make sure the red doesn't cannon into the brown.
John Higgins, 8.
Well, I don't think John will be particularly pleased. The red did just fractionally cannon the brown, but this is very swervable around the black and the blue. That's a very good shot from John Higgins, and I just wonder if that brown could cause a problem here for Jamie Jones, whether it's in the way of the easy escape. Maybe okay, actually. Must hit this red. He could leave a free ball if he doesn't. And he hasn't hit the red,
Foul.
and it is a free ball.
John Higgins 7, free ball.
John Higgins suffered this fate early in the match after Jones needed a snooker. Higgins failing to swerve out of it and leaving a free ball. Jones cleared up to steal on the black. So the green's an extra red.
1.
Oh, John's played a poor one there. The red and the black would have put him 27 ahead with 27 on. But this red is very tricky now, and can he hold for the black?
Looks wide.
John Higgins 7.
A let off for Jones.
Jamie will be very disappointed to have left a potable red on here for John Higgins. He'll feel they ought to have kept that red safe, but there's still pressure on this for John Higgins. That yellow is a ball he's going to need.
No question that Higgins is feeling it a bit in his bid to get this match over with as quickly as possible. One or two errors that we saw early in the match have crept back in recent times after what has been overall a very solid performance to get him into this winning position, which he still hasn't quite been able to convert.
Some of John Higgins' safety shots as well are not being played as well as he'd like them to be. But Jamie's shaping up to take this red on. It's a big shot, this.
He never backs down from the big shot, Jones, and they say fortune favours the brave. Happily for him, having missed the red, he's not left it. $19 the difference.
Another safety from John Higgins that wasn't executed quite as well as he would have liked. But it's not going to be easy here for Jamie to do a lot with this. As we have a look at that near capacity auditorium here at the famous Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. What an atmosphere it is.
kind of place where even if you've got a handsome lead, you don't feel safe. The pressure in this place is magnified beyond any other tournament. Even if you're John Higgins, one of the greats, who's been there, done it all, won everything.
Foul.
Well, he would rather that was in, I think.
Jamie Jones' fault.
Because he was leaving a red for Jones had it stayed above ground. No question it's getting nervy. So I imagine how much more nervy it might get if Jones can pinch this frame. The red's still on, obviously, albeit from a greater distance than it might have been. Oh, so close, so close. And because it was so close, it stayed adjacent to the pocket. Another chance for Higgins to kill this off.
Yeah, good effort, wasn't it? Just a fraction out. But John will need, in all likelihood, to pot the green after the yellow to secure frame and match. So all of a sudden the yellow becomes a problem because he'd have to play it at pace.
What?
Wanted to be on the blue, but has overrun. He could drop the brown in very slowly and he'd be on the yellow, but as I say, he'd need the green. So he couldn't just drop the yellow in, he'd have to stun it in to get back across for the green. Played the brown as slowly as he could. Oh, he's on the yellow, but this is tough.
5.
One good pot and position required.
Excellent pot from Higgins. There was plenty of pressure on that. Things have become just a little hairy in recent times, losing the previous frame, which he might have won, but now frame ball and match ball. And it's there, and suddenly the pressure is released. Jamie Jones has given it everything. He's had a very good World Championship. He came through 2 rounds of qualifying. He beat Neil Robertson from 8-5 down.
40.
And he gave John Higgins plenty to think about in the early stages of this match when he led 3-1. But Higgins overall has put together a very solid performance.
90.
And he's very happy about it. He's very proud of his longevity in the game, John Higgins, and he's very keen to preserve his place in the top 16, which he's held since way back in 1995 when he made his Crucible debut. He's come through a tough match in the first round, and the 4 times world champion is looking in pretty good shape. He's set up a blockbuster with Mark Allen in round 2. John Higgins through at the expense of Jamie Jones here at the Crucible by 10 frames to 6.